back. Today we're taking a look at the Rapido FL9. This is an EMD locomotive. There's actually a active FL9 up in the Northeast, and it is in New Haven schema. It's number 2019. This is number 2009. Now Rapido does a great job. They're well known for their quality and underbody detail, and so we're going to take a look to see if this model holds up to everything that Rapido has been known for recently. Listen to some sounds and take a look at actual running, and then we'll wrap the review up. But with that said, let's start with the review of the EMD FL9 right now. Alrighty then, let's unbox this puppy. Again, the FL9 New Haven. Got some FL9s here that run up in the Northeast. New Haven FL9s. So inside the box you've got some decals to change the number to whatever you want. You've got actual road numbers of the ones that are still running. You got exploded parts diagram. And you have the manual itself, which Rapido just does an excellent job on the manual. It's a step above. This is actually the French side, so I'll switch over to the English side here, but it's just a step above. It goes over lots of different things. Usually there's a little bit of humor in here because Jason Schron is a funny guy. He gets the fact that model railroading shouldn't be all serious all the time. But that's the guy that runs Rapido, by the way. But anyway, just a lot of functions running all the way up, listed to F19. And then CV stuff, warranty information, and he has a little plea in there to say, please make sure you tell everybody all the great stuff they make. So a lot of people think that he's like a defunct company or a company that doesn't do anything for American-made stuff in terms of American-made prototypes of these locomotives, but here you have the FL9 itself. First time out of the box. I actually hurried up the review just to get this thing out of the box because I wanted it out quickly. And we're going to go ahead and put it down on the track. I see one of the well lightings, the truck lightings, go on automatic right away. So I've got power on the track, but let's go ahead and get everything resituated. So I can be an idiot from time to time, but it stands to talk about the durability of these locomotives. I pushed this locomotive right on the horn and it didn't snap off. It kind of swiveled around a bit and I put it back to where it was and it stayed in one piece. So locomotive's durable from what I can tell, especially when you do dumb things like I just did. But overall, let's go over some detail. You've got the windshield wipers, the horn, which you'll hear later is quite a unique horn for this FL9. They have a very different sounding horn than what you'd expect to hear on a diesel locomotive. You've got the headlight, which is LED by Rapido. You've got separately applied grabs, the New Haven logo up front, the number boards indicate 2009 there. You've got metal couplers, MU hoses, a lot of detail on the MU hoses and metal couplers, or on the MU hoses in the front of the locomotive here, and the trucks later that we'll get into in our side view coming up right now. I had to put a little extra light on this to show you the truck detail, but we'll go and look at the truck detail in closer review here in a minute. But you got really nice truck detail with the red accents, which is prototypical for these New Haven FL9s. You've got the cab door with grab irons that are separately applied. Again, you've got the see-through etched metal grating going all the way up and down the edge. New Haven's nicely printed. It's a real great print job. You've got the actual windows here and here, and a lot of great detail along the side. But what I want to show you up close, I'll pick this up again, is these trucks. They don't mess around with truck detail at Rapido or underbody detail. They spare no expense or time on the detail, and they really just nailed the truck detail. Look at all that intricate detail on the trucks. So just really cool to see them going to this level of detail on the trucks and the underbody, which sometimes modelers don't care about much. Since I've got it freehand now, kind of floating in front of you. Let's take a look at the back. Get into zoom here. In the back, in the diaphragm detail, you got that rear metal coupler on the back. Separately applied grabs all around, including this back areas here. So, just crazy amount of detail. MU hoses back here. Had to turn my camera light on because the black is really just counteracting, even though I've got a nice high output light right above. But just great detail. And here's the other side of this locomotive. I'm going to go ahead and kill the camera light so we look at the top, and you can actually see the nice color as it was meant to be seen. But look at all that top detail, the fan detail, see-through fan detail, exhaust. You've got a winterization hatch. You've got stuff from my layout because I haven't actually sealed it down with scenic cement yet. You've got all kinds of detail. You got lift rings. You can see the lift rings there. So, pretty cool detail. I think my camera is just insistent on focusing in on the layout more than this locomotive, but as I get it in focus, you can see all the lift ring detail. And if you look over on this side, the piping detail that's running up on top, all this stuff I need to really just single out because it looks so great. Well, that's it for detail. Let's get into operation and see how this runs and sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and hit F8. I'll go over some sounds here. There's the bell. Horn. There's that F3 straight to 8. Dynamic brake, F4. Doppler horn as he goes by on a crossing or something. So that's just some of the actual features of the locomotive. Due to time, we won't be able to cover them all, but I will show you the classification lights, which you see there right above the number boards. Those can be green or white. White is F9, and then green is F10. So it just really depends, but you can really get them different colors. So pretty cool feature there. F11's brake, so without that, with the F11 on, you won't be able to move it. And then there's several different functions on top of that. So Rapido always puts these nifty little features in each different locomotive. Some things that kind of are different than the industry standard. And on this locomotive, the FL9, we've got F14, which is Grand Central Terminal mode. Now I'm going to read this to you and then we're going to test it out. When I read this to you, it kind of indicates the level of humor that Jason Schron puts into the manuals, but I'll also tell you how this is going to work. We're hoping that you will find this nifty feature on our FL9 model to be so enthralling that the number of people actually modeling Grand Central Terminal will double, ... to 3. As originally designed, the prime mover was to be shut down when third rail power was provided to the traction motors. As anyone who has tried to breathe while near an FL9 on the platform at Grand Central Terminal can attest, locomotive engineers did not shut down the engine in practice. It was left idling, much to the detriment of the health of anyone around required to be on the platform for longer than about 3 minutes. If you're running south into Grand Central Terminal, stop at 125th Street and press F14. The locomotive will switch into Grand Central Terminal mode. The prime mover, which is obviously the diesel engine, is locked in idle, and you can hear the traction motors whining quite loudly. If you are properly following the rule book and you want to shut down the prime mover, press F8. The prime mover sounds will shut down. In Grand Central Terminal mode, you will hear the traction motors whining as well as the air compressor going off. If you have the steam generator turned on, you can hear that too. Horn and bell work as usual. Northbound trains from Grand Central Terminal should stop after leaving the Park Avenue Tunnel to switch over to normal operation. Press F8 to fire up the prime mover and F14 to turn off Grand Central Terminal mode. Proceed to Woodlawn and points northeast. If your train does not stop at 125th Street, you can switch to and from third rail power on the fly. The prototype and model are both designed to allow the changeover at full track speed. So with that said, let's go ahead and run Grand Central Terminal mode. I'm going to press F14 to get this started. So we just hit F14. I hear the traction motors whine. Now we're going to hit F8. As you can hear, the prime mover's down. Still kind of hear the traction motors going on. And fire it back up here. And now we're out of Grand Central Terminal mode. So that covers it. Mostly deals with the traction motors whining. If you had the actual steam generator on, which is F6, I'll hit that real quick. You'll be able to hear that too. There's a steam generator. Alright, let's get into actual motion. So we're going to hit this at 1 speed step. There's 1 out of 126. It begins to crawl. 2. 3. 4. 5, 6 speed steps, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Smooth as butter. Let's go in reverse here. Check out the reverse. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, so hopefully that shows you guys how smooth the operation is. Well guys, I don't know what you think, but I'm pretty impressed with this locomotive. I couldn't find any flaws on it really whatsoever. A piece had popped off. It was left in the box. It just went on the top, plugged into a hole. That's really the only thing I could find on the locomotive of any concern. Just a well done job by Rapido Trains on this locomotive. Great sounds. I know the horn sounds a little weird, but I actually bumped that against prototype horns on YouTube, and I found that that actually matches up. So it's a great, accurate representation of the real locomotive. The drive is smooth, everything runs smooth, and it has a nice pull to it. You really don't need to worry about pulling too much because these were made for passenger service, mostly excursion service, like I said, in the Northeast, but overall, it's a great locomotive all around. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.